Hello, my lovely people, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. Grab a snack, take a breather, drink some water, maybe pull up a seat, and let me just start off by introducing myself. My name is Sidoni, sort of. I mean, you can just call me Sid for short, it's probably a lot easier. I am an animation major with a lot of free time in between classes. I have a major love of storytelling, so I'll probably be talking about a lot of movies, TV shows, animated stuff for sure. I'm just gonna talk about what I like, and I have a lot to yap about when it comes to things that I like. But the problem is I don't have a lot of people to yap about too. That's why I made the channel, and I'm afraid it's gonna have to be you people who have to listen to me yap. So thank you. You know, excuse any of the random background noise that you might hear. I currently live in a dorm, as you can tell, and I cannot control the random sounds that are gonna escape from around me. I live in like a tiny little cell block. The walls are concrete. My bad.
Anyways, just the other day, I was out to lunch with some friends and we were talking about how generally jukebox musicals are just, God, awful. Now, this isn't to say that all jukebox musicals are bad. I mean, hell, I was literally a theater kid growing up. I was even in a high school production of Mamma Mia. I know that at least in the theater world, everyone pretty much agrees that ABBA songs plus a Baby Daddy Mystery plus Meryl Streep is 100% gonna be the best that a jukebox subgenre musical film whatever can get.
I also happen to think that my celebrity lookalike is a young Meryl Streep. Maybe you see it, maybe you don't. I don't know, you tell me. We're gonna do side by side. If I don't look like her, don't answer it. But when it comes to jukebox musicals, I've noticed that they're not very well regarded, especially by the general public. I think the only recent one that I can really think of as having any good reception is probably the Trolls franchise.
Not! Why won't you sing?
Because singing killed my grandma, okay?
So you're probably just going by now, Sid. What the heck is a jukebox musical, and why does this have to relate to the movie that you promised we'd be talking about? Because I came here for a fairy movie and we're talking about musicals. And that is a fantastic set of scripted questions. Thank you for asking. A jukebox musical is defined as a stage musical or a musical film in which a majority of the songs are well-known pre-existing popular music songs rather than the original music composed for the musical. Since the 1970s, most jukebox musicals have just been a catalog of an artist's best and probably most famous songs, usually with a mediocre story kind of smushed in between there. Jukebox musicals include everyone's favorites, such as Buddy, the Buddy Holly story, and Jelly's Last Jam, and, you know, Bob Dylan's The Times They Are A-Changin'. Although I can't be too harsh, because while doing research for this video, I found out that musicals like Singing in the Rain and Meet Me in St. Louis, Moulin Rouge, and The Book of Life are all technically categorized as jukebox musicals. Oh, and Happy Feet. I've actually never seen any of these films though, so maybe I'll... That's the problem with living in a dorm, is it? Everybody can hear you. You can hear everyone and everyone can hear you. Yes, it's wonderful.
But I bring all this up because literally a few hours after that lunch conversation with my friends, I was doom scrolling YouTube Shorts and saw a clip from this cute little 3D animated film called Strange Magic. As an artist and an animator, whenever I find forgotten independent films like this, I get excited because I think of it as something new to study for my own work. While I'm still a beginner animating in 3D at least.
Oh my god, what is that?
What is that?
I can still admire the hard work and expertise of the hundreds of animators, riggers, modelers, texture artists, and lighting artists involved with a film like this. What really drew me to this clip though was the hyper-stylized character designs. I mean, just look at the villain. Look at the texturing on this dude's model and tell me it's not awesome. It's just delicious. I showed this clip to my suite mate who's also an animation major, and she agreed that it looked pretty good. Good enough even for our weekly movie night that we have. So I put on my fuzzy Christmas socks in the depths of February and my favorite Edward t-shirt. I fought with my broken microwave just to make a hot chocolate. Watched the snow fall outside of my window, shuffled across the hall to my suite mate's room, longingly stared at the picture of Leon Kennedy on her wall. And then prepared to watch the film. The Lucasfilms logo appeared on the screen and, oh, okay, weird. I didn't know that the Star Wars guy was the one behind this. The film started, and...
That's my line.
I should preface that if you love this movie, I love that for you. I sincerely do. I'm not here to make fun of anybody that loves this movie, genuinely. Everyone has their own opinions and their tastes in film, and if this is your childhood favorite film, please do not let me ruin it for you. I am just a person on the internet. This is all just in good fun, and I have my own questionable taste, so I mean, I'm not really one to talk. But I should warn that I will be kindly tearing this film to shreds.
Strange Magic is a 3D animated jukebox musical fantasy comedy based on George Lucas's interpretation of Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream. It was released in January of 2015 and was the last movie before Disney acquired Lucasfilm.
If you want to know a little bit more in depth about the history of this film and like the actual production behind it, I suggest that you go and watch Saber Sparks' video about Strange Magic, because he definitely like did a little bit more research. I'm just talking about my own personal experience. I've linked his video in the description below. You can go watch that. It's a great video. I mean, it's 5 years old, but it's still a great video.
Here's how my rating system's gonna go. We have story development and/or plot, animation, music, acting, and direction. Starting off with the story. We open with an exposition dump about a world divided into two, the fairies who live in the fairy kingdom and the other guys who live in the dark forest. There are a bunch of these special primroses that grow on the border between the two kingdoms that can be used to make love potions. Our main protagonist is Marianne, a fairy princess voiced by Evan Rachel Wood, who I, for some reason, can only remember as the dead mom in Frozen. Marianne is your typical Disney princess archetype. She flies around a flower field on her wedding day singing about how much she loves her fiancé. Marianne stumbles into the dark forest and has a kerfuffle with some creepy little dudes before fleeing to safety. Meanwhile, the groom-to-be, a fairy named Roland with a horrendous, and I mean utterly horrendous southern accent that keeps slipping into British by accident because guess what? The voice actor is British. He runs into Marianne. They flirt, they have a little meet cute, and it's clear that by the end of this interaction that not only do I genuinely hate Roland, but I realize that the film may have some catastrophic flaws. First of all, not only is Roland's voice just so off-putting, I blame the voice direction more than the actor himself, but his character design is so obviously inspired by Prince Charming from Shrek 2 that I can't help but wish I was watching Shrek 2 instead.
Is that glitter on your lips?
Cherry flavored. Want a taste?
On her way back home to prepare for the wedding, she catches Roland cheating on her, smooching this other fairy who kind of looks just exactly like her. Marianne rightfully flies off and cries about it to her sister, vowing to never fall in love again. Marianne's little sister Dawn half-heartedly consoles her, but is like, I'm sorry your man cheated on you, but is the wedding still happening? Because I kind of want to still dance at the ball with this hot guy I met the other day. And Marianne's like, no, duh. Then we have this really, and I mean really, subtle time skip, which took me a long time to realize actually happened, because in the next scene, Dawn and Marianne start talking about a different ball. No, not the wedding ball, now it's the spring ball, I guess. By this point, Marianne's gone all emo, and I kind of love that. Dawn has this little elf friend named Sunny, by the way, who's voiced by Elijah Kelly, who plays Seaweed in the 2007 film adaptation of Hairspray, one of my favorite musical films, so I was really excited to find this out. However, for this movie, Sunny as a character fundamentally sucks. They try to make him funny, and all of his jokes just fall so flat. Dawn wants Sunny to get a primrose petal so that she can make a love potion to use on her new crush, unaware that Sunny is in love with her, and he wants to use a love potion on her instead. Yikes. Sunny comes into the possession of a primrose petal, and he, Dawn, and Marianne return to the fairy palace just in time for the spring ball. The king, who is totally not George Lucas's insert character, as Saber Spark so kindly pointed out, the king is just like, Marianne, please reconsider marrying Roland. I swear he's a good guy. He just made a mistake. And Marianne's like, no way, Dad. And then sings quite possibly the worst paced rendition of Strong.
I have to admit something. It was at this point in the film that my friend and I had to stop because we couldn't stop cringing. We couldn't stop cringing, and not in a so bad it's good kind of way, in a I am physically in pain, please end my suffering kind of way. We didn't even make it. We didn't even make it 30 minutes into the film, and I'm being dead serious. We literally looked at the clock and I want to say it was 29 minutes or something. Before moving on to cleanse our palates with a different movie, because we still had a lot of time left in the night, we ended up watching Song of the Sea, which is a really cute movie, so maybe I'll make a video about that one. We quickly skimmed through the rest of Strange Magic just to kind of see what we'd be missing out on, and oh boy, I'm just gonna finish reading the synopsis for you guys, and you figure it out for yourselves.
Roland decides to make a love potion to win back Marianne after being kicked out of the party. Sunny convinces Roland to go into the Dark Forest so that they can find the Sugar Plum Fairy, the only person who can actually make the love potion, I guess. So now that they can use the potion on their respective fairies, Marianne for Roland and Dawn for Sunny. Sunny goes off on his own and runs into an imp thing that was clearly supposed to be a plushie for marketing purposes, but because the film bombed very hard in the box office, it obviously never happened. Together, they sneak into the Bog King's lair to free the captured Sugar Plum Fairy. Now, I forgot to mention that the Bog King is the main villain here, at least in the beginning. Voiced by Alan Cumming. I'm gonna go with Cumming. Voiced by Alan Cumming, Spy Kids icon, and in his natural Scottish accent, no less, which was pleasantly surprising.
Scotland forever!
The Bog King is the Lord of the Dark Forest. He hates love, boo. He once fell in love, but it was unrequited, and that made him really, really sad. Anyways, freeing the Sugar Plum Fairy makes the Bog King upset, so he goes to the Spring Ball, which is still going on, by the way, and captures both Sugar Plum and Dawn. Right before this goes down, Sunny uses the love potion on Dawn, who accidentally falls for the Bog King at first sight. The imp thing then runs off with the rest of the potion. Bog King presents the fairies with an ultimatum. He's like, get me back. I can't do a Scottish accent. Get me back that potion or I'll hurt Dawn, and then he leaves. Marianne tracks down the Bog King to rescue her sister while Roland works with George Lucas, the Fairy King, to gather an army. Marianne and the Bog King battle, which quickly turns into a meet cute once they realize that they have the whole hating love thing in common. Whoa, looks like we're flipping expectations. Is she falling in love with the bad guy who might not be so bad after all? What? This would be the perfect movie for the Book Talk girlies. Go wild. Moving ahead, Sugar Plum reveals to Marianne and the Bog King that the spell on Dawn will only break with true love, and Marianne and the Bog King are just like, oh, didn't realize it was that simple. Sunny gets the potion back from the imp after a pointless, wacky B-plot. He then gives it to Roland, who invades the Bog King's castle. And then battle ensues. Imagine it was like really epic for that. Bog King thinks Marianne has betrayed him by calling the army, and he leaves her to die, I guess? Bog King lair starts to collapse during the fight. Bog King, I'm just gonna call him Boggy, has a change of heart when he sees Marianne in danger and holds the mouth of the lair open as it falls apart. Everyone survives. Sunny confesses his love to Dawn, who apparently supposedly loves Sunny all along? And of course the love potion spell breaks. Ugh. In a final act of desperation, Roland uses the love potion on Marianne. She fakes everyone out, nearly kissing Roland, only to punch him instead, to everyone's relief. Marianne and Boggy kiss for real, and they all lived happily ever after as the credits roll, and all is well. Oh, what? The credits don't roll on the kiss? What do you mean they don't roll on the kiss?
Oh, hell no!
Plot review. Imagine if I was clapping instead, that would probably be better. If it wasn't a musical and it was just like a regular film, I think the story wasn't all that bad. I mean, were the characters fleshed out? No. But I think it was just because most of the runtime was dedicated to the really crappy music. Was the story extremely tropey? Yes, it was. And I love tropes. They're there for a reason. Even this just felt really on the nose for me as someone who adores tropes. Overall, reading through the synopsis and digesting the little bit of the beginning that I actually did watch, I think I'd give the plot of the film like a 5 out of 10. If I'm being nice, I'll probably say a 6 out of 10. It's a standard play on fairy tales, in my opinion, and I usually love this sort of fairy tales are like my jam. I love fairy tales. Fairy tales and twists on them is like literally my favorite genre in all medias. Literally, look behind me, this is giving fairy tale, like, girly core, like, I don't know. Strange Magic just disappointed me. It really did, and I was really looking forward to it, and I'm kind of sad that I didn't like it. I really wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it. I appreciated the switch up romance though between Marianne and the Bog King. I found that really refreshing. Despite most of this, most of the characters, especially Sunny and Roland, apart from the music, it was those two that made it just unbearable.
Whoa, oh, here I am.
Roland!
I know they're not supposed to be perfect characters or even good-natured characters, but there's a difference between a flawed character and a flawed, poorly written character. Sunny as comedic relief wasn't funny at all, and his relationship with Dawn felt extremely forced and kind of creepy. Now, I don't want this video to get super duper long, so I'm just going to summarize my thoughts on the next couple of points because I would like to eat. I'm actually very hungry. And I also want to save light because the sun's going down and I live in the northern hemisphere in the winter.
Born of cold and winter air and mountain rain combined.
Yay! animation. The animation was gorgeous. I mean, I know I said that before, but that's what really drew me to this film initially. I remember my friend and I, we were literally looking at each other when we decided to quit watching the movie, and she, quote unquote, she literally said, I would hate to be the poor animators scrubbing through this audio every day for work, and I don't think a truer statement could be said about this film. Animation and art direction, I'm gonna have to give it like a 9.5 out of 10 because I really thought that part was solid. Like, I thought that part was really cool. So only thing was some of the expressions on the fairies could be a little uncanny valley, but otherwise it's the perfect film for an art book. I think I would want an art book for this movie because I really liked the style. Music. Please don't make me listen to the music again. Please don't, please don't.
No matter what people say, it didn't happen that way.
For a film that has so many talented singers and they're all Broadway artists, like how do you have Evan Rachel Wood, Kristen Chenoweth, and Elijah Kelly, and it still sounds so gosh darn bad?
What are you trying to say?
I do not like this song. I think this song have many problems.
I mean, something must have happened with the audio mixing because as each song progressed in the film, I kept wondering why these trained singers sounded just so off. Maybe I'm being too harsh in comparing these jukebox song covers or whatever to their originals. The film was packed with songs, 13 of them overall, and there's no reason that a film like this needs 13 songs. There's no reason that a film needs 13 songs ever. Songs in the soundtrack for this film included Elvis Presley's Can't Help Falling in Love, Kelly Clarkson's Stronger, Whitney Houston's I Wanna Dance with Somebody, and I would say honestly the ratio was maybe 95% singing and 5% talking.
Can I get you kids?
7, 8. We would like 4 glasses of water, 4 free glasses of water, please. Till the morning comes. We're all
I hate theater kids.
The song choices overall were jarring. I felt like whiplash every time a new one started because they put these very modern sounding pop songs sung in this very modern 2010s generic radio kind of way against this magical, almost medieval world. When you compare it to a film like maybe Ella Enchanted, which also includes this very poppy jukebox cover of some famous love songs in this magical medieval world. Let's compare the two. At least Ella Enchanted knew that it was being corny by covering popular songs. Dedicated a lot of that time to embracing the corniness while still fitting the film's overall really jovial, like upbeat tone. Like I'm specifically talking about the pub scene with Anne Hathaway when she's covering Queen's Somebody to Love, and especially the Don't Go Breaking My Heart dance break scene at the end. Like those are really fun sequences. They know they're being corny. They're not trying to play it off as serious. And it's like the film is also not packed with 13 songs. I think that's also another difference that we might have to take into account. But Ella Enchanted did it better. If Strange Magic, seriously, if they truly had to pick some already existing songs for their soundtrack, then I just wish that they had picked some more unknown songs so that it didn't draw the viewer out of the experience. I mean, better yet, just write something original. If you had that budget to make a completely CGI movie, and plus you have Lucasfilms behind it. If you had Lucasfilms behind, there's a budget there. You were just lazy, guys. Come on. Music, 0 to 10. Horrible. Why? Acting. It was pretty good. You have talented actors like Maya Rudolph playing Griselda, who is the Bog King's mother, Alfred Molina playing George Lucas, Fairy King, and Kevin Michael Richardson playing some guy named Brutus. They joined an already stacked cast, and yet somehow even they couldn't save the film. 6 out of 10. I'm gonna give +2 for Alan Cumming. I don't know how to say it. I'm gonna say Cumming because that feels right. +2 for Alan Cumming in his Scottish accent, because that's awesome. I love that for him.
Scotland forever!
Direction. If the rest of these points weren't already rehashed enough, there must have been some sort of a dispute behind the scenes in this production that led to how clunky the film felt overall. I don't know what happened, but between things like Roland's awkward line deliveries,
You left me at the altar, remember?
the terrible cover songs, and the underdeveloped characters, I'd have to give the direction a 4 out of 10. The only thing I can actually give, the direction credit for at all is the art direction, so good job to whoever was in charge of that. You rock. I sincerely encourage anyone interested in Strange Magic to actually watch it for yourself and form your own opinions about the film, because remember, at the end of the day, I am just one person on the internet. Like what you like. If this movie makes you happy, That's all that should really matter, right guys? Because this is my first ever video, I'm still trying to figure out what my type of content is and what I actually want to post, how I'm gonna go about editing these things, my setup, my lighting. I'm working on a budget of like $0, guys. Give me a break. Hoping to maybe post some like travel stuff when I get to it. I have some things lined up for the rest of the next couple of months. I am graduating this semester, so fighting between homework. It's mostly just gonna be movies and TV shows and things that I want to talk about. That's probably what I'm gonna be posting for now. Maybe some art stuff when I get to it, if I have time for it. Any animation stuff maybe, I don't know. If you have seen Strange Magic already, please leave your opinions in the comments. I'm curious to see what other people thought about this film. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, be kind and cordial in the comments, please. I'm not looking to start any sort of wars or fights or anything, but yeah, if anybody has any recommendations, feel free to say something. Again, be kind. Please be patient with me as I try to navigate this whole YouTuber thing. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video. If you didn't, no hard feelings. No worries, bro. It's really not a big deal. I hope everybody has a good day, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Ciao.